What's up, everybody? I'm gonna get started here in 1 second. Let me get some things squared away on my end. If anybody who is a friend of mine who is listening right now could shoot me a text and see if I'm coming through loud and clear. Alright, just trying to figure out why the camera is not recording or showing me audio. Just give me a second here. Alright. Alright. Getting there. I love how they update things and then they don't tell you that they've changed a bunch of things. So now I have to figure all this out again. So let's try. Alright. Alright, CamLink, why are you not coming on here? Nope. Aha. Nope. Oh, God damn it. Had it there for a second. Give me one more second here. Trying to figure out why it won't let me do things the way that I normally do them. So you can sit and hear me sing. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, y'all. I know this is a pain in the butt for you in your hard-earned time when I had all of this figured out completely, and then it stopped working. So I'm going to keep poking with buttons. Hopefully you all can hear me. I'm looking forward to this broadcast a lot because I have a lot of awesome things that I want to talk about. So in the meantime, you can just listen to me talk. But hopefully you are all getting ready to enjoy a nice, wonderful weekend and get some time outdoors, some time in the beautiful wonderfulness of nature, and all that good stuff. I'm going to try one thing real quick to reset this whole thing. It doesn't work. That did it. Let's see here. Okay. Sources. Canlink 4K. Okay. Had it there for a second and I don't know why it's not coming back on. God, I was born in the wrong century. I put the logo up, and then let's see here. Why are you not? Okay, that should be right. That should be right. It's all. Come on. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying. Trying for the life of me to figure this out. This is why I need a full-time tech person. Hold on, everybody. Sorry. I don't understand. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to start talking, even though you can't see my pretty face. I'm going to continue to poke around at these sources as to why you guys are not seeing me. I have no idea whatsoever. So, just going to have to bear with us as we adapt, improvise, adapt, and overcome, as it is called in the survival world. Speaking of survival, I have been, it's funny, I've been in a bit of a survival situation lately. Not a, not a traditional one in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, I'm not lost in the woods, and if I was lost in the woods, I would be able to, survive, make my way out, etc. I find myself in more of a, financial survival situation. Recently, I had some things that I was counting on for, for my business to run and run successfully. And those things did not pan out the way that they were supposed to. And it's, it's been really rough. It's been really rough as I kind of transition into this new life. Not only the new life I'm living as as a solo person after 11 years being in a partnership, but more of a it's just having to due to this thing that happened recently, I've had to essentially on the fly refigure my whole business plan. And those of you out there who are, those of you out there who are outdoor educators and teachers know that this is it's a feast or famine. It's a feast or famine profession at the best of times. So it's having to completely figure out my business plan has just been stressful, to say the least. Not to mention the fact, all the issues I had with the car, and I swapped that out for a 2015 Crosstrek that has much less miles and has a 5-speed transmission, so I'm super excited about that. Anyway, I'm going to give up on messing with the video for now, because what's more important is the message. And you have all seen my ugly face enough. It's too bad though, really, because it is extraordinarily beautiful out here right now. And I wish that you could all all be out here right now in the woods with me. This, I am so thankful to my landlords, Jim and Aaron, and the synchronicities and coincidences of how we met and how I came to live here were nothing short of miraculous. I've had many times in my life I think back to the line from the V for Vendetta movie. There's no such thing as coincidence, only the illusion of coincidence. And a few times in my life, I've had things happen that there was no other explanation than the universe helping me out and meeting, Jim and Aaron, who are my landlords, was one of those moments, where had I made a simple decision differently, I would have not met them, and they would have rented it out to somebody else or turned it into an Airbnb. And the synchronicity of our meeting was awesome. And I'll tell the story really quick. So back when I was still doing work with Trackers Earth, I just finished up an intensive weekend down at one of our camps, or one of Tracker's camps. And at the time, I still had my Toyota truck, and I, gathered up all the garbage, and I threw the garbage bag up on the roof of my truck to drop in the cans on the way down the hill, or the way up the hill to go home. So I get home, and I realize that, oh shit, I forgot to put the trash away. And so I gathered up, a few random trashy things I had laying around and went back. And as I'm just, finishing unloading the trash, this woman comes walking from across the street. And, I had known there was a cabin there, but I had never met the people who lived there. And I had seen a for sale sign, and then the for sale sign was gone. So I assumed that, it was the new owner. So she comes up and introduces herself, and just one of those people that radiates goodness and awesomeness. She explains that her and her husband and her kids, after years of living in the city, decided to move out here to the country. And it's a big transition for a lot of people, but right at that time, literally a couple weeks before, was when Lisa and I decided we were going to part ways, and I was really, really stressing out about finding a place to live. And just as I'm about to pull away, Aaron's like, "Oh, hey, wait, I got a question for you. Do you happen to know anybody who's looking to rent a mother-in-law suite? We've got a small one in the basement of our cabin, and we were gonna, Airbnb it, but we'd rather have somebody, more steady and reliable." And I was like, "Well, as a matter of fact, I do know somebody." And, that somebody comes with a whole bunch of accessories and skill sets. So, we have just, they moved in here in March, I moved in here in July, and we are just starting to really get down to caretaking this piece of land. It's amazing. It's one of the few kind of oldish growth patches around, just massive fir trees and cedars and all that stuff. And we have plans for gardens and all sorts of permaculture projects and other awesome things. Once again, I want to apologize for it being video only. I have no idea why. I will figure it out for the next episode of T3Live, though. So back to the future of future nature. As much as if you've taken a class with me, you've probably heard me talk about how expectations are killers. If we lead our life via a stack of expectations, we're going to constantly find ourselves let down. And So I tell people, just like my father does, every morning when you wake up, you have the choice to, empty your cup, forget you have a past, and approach your day from the place of understanding that everyone and everything you come into contact with can teach you something. And everyone and everything and every place you come into contact with, you have the ability as a caretaker, which is what I believe our role on this crazy spaceship Earth is. You've got an opportunity to do some caretaking. But yeah, having to, on the fly, make this new life, the life of future nature and T3 photography, make it work. A lot of people probably think, oh yeah, you're Tom Brown's son, you probably fail classes, no problem. As Dwight Schrute from The Office says, false. Is absolutely not true. Part of that is due to the fact of the, boom of survival-based TV shows. God, those things disgust me. And the capitalization, having what I do, which is, teach ancestral living skills, wilderness survival, animal tracking, foraging, had these things overnight turned into an industry. And now, there's people who have, watched a few YouTube videos and go camping a lot, and all of a sudden they're a survival expert or a wilderness skills expert, and they open a school and, competing with all of these different places when we all really shouldn't be competing. I don't know why they do what they do, but I do what I do to ensure that future generations of all beings, not just us humans, but everything, that there is wild places for those beings to enjoy and exist in. Then that's only one part. My other part is to help our species heal the wounds that we've dealt each other over the last eons. Repair those wounds, kind of break free of this old way of thinking where, I'm better than you because, or this place is better than that because, and realize that, we're all one human family. No matter where we're from, no matter what we look like, we're Homo sapiens. Same as a, white oak is Quercus alba. It's we need to end the aggression and violence and racism and hate and all of that, and come together and fight those entities that are profiting off of the division that is going on in our world right now. It makes me, those of us that are trackers, and I'm referring to capital T tracker, which is a student of life. These things are so blatantly obvious to those of us that pay attention and are in the know. But most other people just kind of, as I said, they wander through life with blinders on. And as long as Netflix comes on at the end of the workday, as long as that light bulb turns on when they flip that switch, everything's all good. But, the moment something isn't, then, then the panic sets in and people are buying toilet paper like it's going out of style. So yeah, you know, I mean, those of you who've known me know that I very much follow in my father's footsteps, although my method of the vision, of sharing the vision is slightly different than his. You know, we're doing the same work, as are many other awesome organizations out there. And if you want a list of, you know, let's say, oh, I don't live in Oregon, I can't, you know, come out there and take a class with you. I'm redoing my organizations I trust section of my website so that pretty much no matter where you live in the world, there should be somebody I know that I would, you know, stake my life on in a wilderness survival situation. You know, and my main goal is education, you know, whether it comes to what tools to use, what clothing to wear. You know, I want you to get the best education you possibly can. And sure, you know, we can self-learn. You know, there's YouTube, there's books, field guides, all that stuff, but nothing quite captures the magic like a good class does. You know, just like a few weekends ago when I was down at the Sharpening Stone at my buddy Adam LaRue's place, which I'm actually really bummed because right now they are running their fall event, which is called Feast on the Fire. And it essentially centers around wild foods and cooking, you know, with just wood and rocks and clay. Speaking of which, you know, here's a sneak preview. I'm going to be recording a very awesome fall time primitive cooking instructional video here sometime in the next couple weeks once we get a little rain and the fire danger isn't as high. So stay tuned for that. One thing I do ask, if you want to really help me out, there's a couple ways. You know, smash that like button on my videos. You know, leave comments, good or bad. You know, I want feedback. I want to be the best I can be. Try to do that with as many of my videos as you can, because I'm really trying to grow this YouTube thing into a way to have my voice carry much further than it normally would. And you know, we humans as tool users, we have all this wonderful technology at our fingertips, and you know, most people use it to argue with some anonymous person somewhere on the other side of the world. I'm going to choose to use it to lead people back to nature. So my ultimate goal is free nature education for all who want it. Meaning, in an ideal world, I would release, you know, 6 week-long classes a year to the public with about 40 or 50 spots. You know, I'll bring some top-notch instructors I know along for the ride. And, you know, you can apply for a space in the class. Obviously, we want the education to go to underserved communities and peoples who don't necessarily have the monies to be able to take a class. We want the spaces to go to those folks first. But eventually, my goal is to just teach for free, period. End of sentence. And I was thinking long and hard about this, and you know, I despise money. I despise talking about money. I despise thinking about money. The whole concept of it, I just despise. But one thing you know, being a tracker is all about recognizing patterns. Many and many years ago, a friend of mine who is now incredibly wealthy said, "Hey, have you ever heard of this thing called Bitcoin before?" And I think at the time I had read an article about it or something. And he was like, "You should buy." He's like, you have any savings? A little bit, even a couple $100. You should buy some because it's going to be the future." And I was like, "Oh, whatever." Yeah. So I literally at the time, thinking back, I probably had about $1,000 I could have spent on Bitcoin when it was 80 cents per coin. So I don't want to do the math on that, but it is hundreds of millions of dollars I would have right now. So a few months back, or a few years back, year and a half ago, I recognized that cryptocurrency was really starting to take off. And I started to learn about the financial systems of the world and how just so full of horse shit they are. And it's sickening when you dive in and you realize that a country or a bank is running low on money. They just print some more. There's a fact I've heard on a few podcasts I listen to, but something like 80% of the U.S. currency in circulation right now has been printed in the last couple of years. And that's not just replacing old bills. They're literally printing money. And that's why all of a sudden, one of the reasons why you go get gas one day and it's $4 a gallon, 30 cents a gallon, and the next day it's $5.60. Because they're playing us, they're manipulating us, they know we need these things. So I started to delve a little deeper into cryptocurrency and found it to be quite fascinating, because here is this currency that is decentralized and allows people to make instant payments to each other across the globe. Whereas if you were to do it through a traditional bank, you would have to wait some weeks, months sometimes, and pay huge fees. So I started dabbling in it, and it has been told to me by the forest that I am going to realize my dream of free nature education for all through cryptocurrency. How freaking ironic is that? That I am going to get people out in the woods and give them an amazing experience from currencies that are all digital. I love it. I love it. One of the ways you can help to support me as an entrepreneur who just had some crazy, unexpected turns taken, in my about section on my YouTube channel are both my Bitcoin and Ethereum wallet addresses. So if you care to make a donation, that money will go towards helping realize my dream. I also, trade in other coins as well, so you can always contact me through my website. But that is one way, you can help. I've also got my Patreon page. I haven't been promoting that much just because I haven't put much time into it, and I only have a couple patrons. But if you go on there and you look, I've got some really awesome tiers with some really awesome gifts. Everything from, digital photos for your computer backgrounds for the lower tiers, all the way up to, private classes and things like that, depending on what tier per month you want to donate to help me realize my vision in life. Um, you know, Everything I do for the wild things. Both the civilized and uncivilized wild things in the world. And, you know, I want to be able to do that from a space where I don't have to worry about if I'm going to be able to eat next week. Or if, I'm going to be able to fill my car with gas. And it's, what do they say? It takes 3 years for the average business either is going to make it or become profitable. Things are slowly picking up. It's just, I had built my 1, 2, and 3 year business plan around this model, which I'm not going to get too much into for personal reasons. But all of a sudden, literally a couple of weeks ago, finding out that money and those classes that I was counting on were no longer an option in my life, I just sat there and started crying because I had no idea what to do or what I am going to do. So, as usual, I will trust in the universe and hope that it provides the things I need, not the things I want, but the things I need. This last year and a half, have destroyed me on so many levels. My health with Lyme's disease and just overwork. I've been through the meat grinder, and it just seems like it's just one thing after another. And I know it's all a test, and I know I'm going to come out on the other side stronger. But it's a tough row to hoe right now, being good old T3. So, send some love my way, even if it's just the ethereal kind of love. It will be most graciously appreciated. So some other things I want to talk about before I wrap up, and once again, please smash that like button if you're listening to me. I know you should be watching, but I can't figure out why. It's not working. Couple other things I wanted to mention. For the holidays, I am working on a calendar that is Pine Barrens only. For those of you who have spent time in the Pine Barrens at one of my dad's classes, know that it is an absolutely magical place. From an ecological standpoint, the Pine Barrens are some of the most unique. It is one of the most unique types of ecosystems there are on the planet. There's only 3 or 4 others in the world. But obviously the Pine Barrens is special because that's where my father met Stalking Wolf and learned the skills that I teach and many others teach. So there's there's magic to that place. Anybody who is there, who has been there, will tell you that. For a place that is literally just white sand, pine trees, and cedar swamps, it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. So I'm going to be doing a special calendar. I'll release that sometime in the next month or so. It'll be for, January 2023, 24. But yeah, I got some great shots when I was out there last year. So whether you are a tracker school student or not, or have never been to the Pines, it'll also be available to you. It'll be up on my website. Couple other things I wanted to talk about. Right now I am running, I came up with a series of 6 or 7 webinars, because once again, we live in a digital age. There's people that want to learn from me, but they might not be able to afford to, get out here and sit in front of me. So I put together a series of 6 and 7 online classes. They're about 2.5, 3 hours long each. You get a recording at the end. You will, they're $100, or you can select what is called the all-in-one package. It's right at the top of the page on my schedule page, and you will get a significant discount. I believe it is, I think it's $450, somewhere in there. I'm just checking to confirm that for you all right now. Don't want to be falsies with my information. But yeah, so keeping that in mind, I am going to make an even more specialer offer to you. In the show notes, I am going to put a code for a discount on the already discounted all-in-one class. So I'm not going to say it because it's some long string of numbers, so it doesn't really mean much, but it will be open until October 15th. So keep that in mind. So yeah, if you use the code, you will get 20% off of $450, which is already half off of the cost of all the classes together. So yeah, they're really fun. You'll get a recording after. They don't have to be taken in any specific order. And I'm going to keep adding to my online class repertoire until I'm kind of slowly building a whole online learning ecosystem that's going to be kind of subscription based, but that's a future project. Some other things I wanted to mention schedule wise. So I'm just waiting for my schedule to load here. Good Lord, this thing is slow today. Let's see here. So, October 14th, which is only a few days away, Adam and I from the Sharpening Stone are running a class called Skin and Bones, using the whole animal. It is $350, and you will, over the course of 3.5 days, you will learn how to process a rabbit. You will learn how to bark tan its skin, so you get nice fluffy tan skin, rabbit skin. And in the in-between times, we'll be working on making tools out of animal bones, because there is a huge variety of tools you can make of animal bones. I've got an online animal tracks and sign class coming up on the 15th. Let's see, October 22nd is another online program called Nature Connection, the New Paradigm, talking a little bit what I've been talking about lately, about the concept of the capital C caretaker. Then let's see, 23rd, wild edible plants / ethical foraging online. October 29th is urban survival online. And then a class I'm really looking forward to because it's my birthday week is November 4th and 5th. Down at Adams Place in Wolf Creek, Oregon, we are running a 2-day mushroom foraging basics class. I know a lot of you students of mine from around here have been asking for a mushroom class. Well, here's your chance not only to get just a basics class, but a much more in-depth one as well. And I'm also recently met a local mushroom expert who I'm going to host here on the land I live on to do a mushroom class once the rains actually start. But I did see a few lobster mushrooms popping up today. But other than that, yeah, take a look at my schedule. Also, we have a traps and tracking class down at Adam's Place on November 12th and 13th. You'll learn all sorts of different primitive traps and the art of tracking that goes along with being a good trapper. So yeah, don't forget about that. Also, Andrea Kreiner and I are still going to do our class together. We're going to be talking on Tuesday and figuring out when the new date is going to be. So yeah, we are still planning on running that class. So no worries there. Last thing I'll mention before I sign off for the evening is that every 100th subscriber that I get via either on my newsletter, on my website, or a subscriber on Facebook, I will at random pick a person who will receive a free print of their choice. So that is pretty awesome. I want to lure you all in with free stuff. But yeah, so that's the basic gist of it is you will get, and every 100 subscriber, you will get that somebody at random will get a print of their choosing. Well, I don't really have much else right now. Fortunately, I am not streaming this through YouTube, so I haven't seen if there's any questions that have popped up, but if there is, I will answer them in the comments section. I will also put the code up for the discount on the all-in-one online class. Until next time, stay safe. Oh, a couple other things. I'm also looking for other properties to run classes on in the Pacific Northwest/West area. If you're interested in a private class, reach out to me through my website. I've done, private classes online, hybrid style, some online, some regular. I also, with my photography, another service I offer is, I'm willing to come to your land, take photos of the beautiful nature there, and then, we agree on a set number of prints you'd like. And yeah, so pretty much anything that has anything to do with what I do, I can offer some sort of custom version of it. All you got to do is reach out. Well, folks, it's been wonderful as usual. I'm sorry that there was no video. I still have yet to figure out why that happened, or what's going on. Hopefully this is something I will be able to figure out for next time, so that we don't keep running into this, because this is extremely annoying. I had it one week, then the next week was crappy, and then it worked again. So yeah. All right, y'all. I love you all more than you could possibly know. I appreciate all of you, whether we've met in person or not. Because if you're taking time out of your day to listen to me yammer, that means a lot to me. So also, please do me a favor, spread the word about my schedule and my classes. Ever since my whole social media debacle, I still can't run ads or boost posts or, set up my photo store on Instagram. I'm still in this weird limbo with nobody getting back to me. So I've literally had that marketing source cut off from me. So if you know anybody who might be interested, just share my schedule. Or if you got a couple friends that you practice these skills with and you want to bring me in for a day, you would be surprised at how little I charge, because once again, I'm not in this to be rich. I'm in this to connect people to nature. So as long as I make enough to keep food in my tummy and gas in my car and to take care of my dog and pay my bills, that's all I really need. Well, for real, peace and love, get outside. I will be making the announcement as to which day next week the T3Live will take place. I'm thinking on looking at my calendar right now, trying to look at my calendar right now, that it will probably, if we don't run the Skin and Bones class next week, it'll be on the 16th. Otherwise, it might be as soon as the 13th, or I may even push it back to the 20th, depending on, things. But I'll be sure to let y'all know. Anyway, peace and love. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a wonderful weekend.